What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. I'm Michigan Sports Talk here. This video is brought to you by our partners over at BetUS TV, but in this one, we got some Michigan football spring practice rumblings, how position groups are looking, as well as the offensive line rotation currently, which players are standing out, an update on some of the true freshmen, how the wide receiver, running back, and quarterback room is doing, also what Sherrone Moore had to say about spring practice so far, and we also got some recruiting news. Michigan getting a crystal ball prediction in favor for a top tight end target, as well as great news on the #1 overall recruit and 5-star offensive tackle Jackson Cantwell, plus Michigan offering a son of former elite NFL receiver Larry Fitzgerald. We go over all that and more in this video, so let's go ahead and get right into it. Alright, so Michigan football spring practices are in full swing right now, and I did want to go over some rumors, as well as how some position groups are doing, what the rotations are looking like, and also which players are standing out. Plus, head coach Sherrone Moore also talked a little bit about it as well. So let's go ahead and start with the offensive line first, and according to Chris Ballas of On3 and the Wolverine, the initial offensive line grouping went Evan Link at left tackle, Gio El-Hadi moving back to left guard, Greg Crippen at center, Nathan Afobe at right guard, and Andrew Sprague at right tackle. They also said that one source did say that transfer Brady Norton had a surprisingly good day at tackle. Obviously, this is just, the initial offensive line grouping. Still got a long ways to go, and Sherrone Moore even did talk about it as he spoke to the media this week. He said it's day 3, so it's constant, just rotating guys in. I feel like they're competing at a high level. I feel like the D-line is challenging them at a high level. The D-line is going to be really deep, really good, but it's just day 3. As he said, it was the first day in pads on Saturday and the second day in pads tomorrow, and he said we'll see where it goes. And obviously they're just, spending the spring trying to find the best offensive line possible. Then also, according to Chris Ballas of the Wolverine, they said that Andrew Babalola looks the part, as do a lot of the incoming freshmen as they pass the eye test, including obviously Bryce Underwood, and also linebacker Chase Taylor, receivers Andrew Marsh and Jamar Browder, and also the talented cornerback freshman Shamari Earls. They also said that Underwood looks the part and the ball just looks different coming out of his hand. But a lot of what Michigan's doing right now, just, trying to implement the offense without going into detail. It was just more about where guys should be. Donovan McCulley right now, the Indiana wide receiver transfer, appears to be getting first shot as the big outside receiver for the Wolverines. Frederick Moore is also out there, Samaj Morgan in the slot, and also as far as tight ends, Marlon Klein and Hogan Hansen are 1 and 1A, as well as the running backs right now, Jordan Marshall and Justice Haynes, also 1 and 1A, and right now Justice Haynes is an absolute beast. Now, real quick here before we do continue this video, I did want to give a shout out to our partners over at BetUS TV. You can check them out on YouTube for sports advice. They'll take care of you. You can also visit betustv.com for more odds and markets and for more sports content as well. Obviously, March Madness NCAA tournament going on right now, and the Wolverines are in the Sweet 16 currently, as they will be taking on the 1 seed Auburn. Spread currently is 8.5 Auburn, and the total is 153.5. Obviously, those odds could change, but I'll tell you what, the Wolverines are hot right now, and it should be a great Friday night matchup as they'll be taking on Auburn at 9:39 p.m. Eastern time on Friday in the Sweet 16. Let me know you guys' early thoughts on that game, but let's go ahead and continue here. So again, Michigan did have pads on. Wasn't too much hitting going on. Obviously, they'll pick it up, as the spring goes on. They're just trying to feel it all out and obviously also see what they're working with, especially on the offensive side. But Sherrone Moore, talking about the wide receiver group, he said, I feel like that group has obviously grown in size. That was an emphasis from me. I wanted big receivers, Donovan McCulley, also bringing in freshmen out of Jacob Washington, Andrew Marsh, obviously Jamar Browder. He said, I feel like we've brought in really good sides in that group to help us be more explosive in the passing game, and that's what I wanted. Also said it's been great for our defense and the DBs to go against guys that are bigger, because as we know, in the games that matter, you're going to have to go up against big dudes. So he said it's been awesome, been very encouraging to watch them all. Also talked about the Michigan running backs. He said they've been awesome. It's an awesome room. It's a competitive room. They're just, they're together just like the quarterbacks, just like every other room. Everybody competes, but they are all aligned together. He said they've been great. Jordan has kind of picked up where he left off in the bowl game. Obviously haven't, really started tackling yet, but he's been great. And also Benjamin Hall has continued to climb and do the same thing. So feel good about those guys. Also talked about the quarterback room. Obviously Bryce Underwood. He said, I just think in general, early enrollees, it's a great thing for the game and for those players to be able to come in and not only just for football, for school, be able to handle school, be able to maneuver in school. But for him and all the quarterbacks, it's been good, just adjusting to the things, doing things a little bit differently, but he's done well. And he's also worked his tail off. They said all the quarterbacks, they're all practicing, they're all going. Everybody is getting reps with the ones, with the twos, with the threes, and the reps right now are pretty balanced, and we'll figure out who the starter is when we feel like we've gotten to that point. He also gave an update on Rod Moore's status. He said that he isn't practicing yet, but the recovery is still going well. And he said, we'll see if Rod Moore practices this spring. He also mentioned that Edge TJ Guy has especially stepped up as a vocal leader and has also changed his body during the offseason. One of the reasons why he earned the right to change his jersey number from number 42 to number 4. Also did mention that junior Cameron Brandt and sophomore Dominic Nichols are next up at edge. He also said that Shamari Earls looks good, especially being that size and that long, and he said that he has flashed and made the plays you would think he would. Another guy who also earned a jersey number switch is Rayshawn Benny, as he has done an outstanding job as well. Also worth mentioning that senior kicker Dominic Zavada made a 60-yard field goal and walked off like nothing had happened in practice recently. Obviously, Dominic Zavada coming back for another season with the Wolverines, going to be one of the best kickers, if not the best kicker in college football next season. And we also do got some recruiting news here for the Wolverines. First, wanted to talk about a new prediction that got put in for the Wolverines, as the Wolverines picked up a crystal ball prediction going in favor to land the 2026 4-star tight end target Matt Ludwig, who recently just took a visit to Michigan, a top tight end target in the 2026 class for Michigan. And Steve Lorenz of the Michigan Insider did put in a crystal ball prediction this morning, so that's some great news right there. Michigan still also does have 2-on-3 predictions in their favor to land them as well, from Steve Wiltfong and EJ Holland as well. So things looking good for Michigan and Matt Ludwig's recruitment. And also, I did want to talk about the 2026 5-star number 1 overall recruit in the 2026 class, the offensive tackle Jackson Cantwell, as he recently just made a visit to Michigan, and he said he had a great time checking out Michigan football for a spring practice. Got to hang out with some of the players, obviously talked to Coach Sherrone Moore and the coaches as well. Also, looks like he caught up with Bryce Underwood, which is always a good sign, as Bryce Underwood, I'm sure, is doing everything he can to land Jackson Cantwell. So there is a lot of positive buzz coming out of the weekend with the 5-star offensive lineman Jackson Cantwell. Obviously, NIL should be a big factor in that recruitment, so we will see how it goes, but the Wolverines definitely in that recruitment. Also wanted to talk about the 2027 5-star wide receiver Dakota Garant, the in-state target from Harper Woods, Michigan. Recently stopped by for a visit to see Michigan's second spring practice. Also has 3 more spring visits scheduled, and according to Ethan McDowell of On3 in the Wolverine, his father, Gerald Garant, explained why his family makes these frequent trips to Ann Arbor. He said it's Michigan. It's not Michigan State. It's not Indiana. It's Michigan. If you get a chance to be recruited by a Power 4 school like Michigan, you're excited about it. He said also that school is your in-state school. Most people grow up idolizing or wanting the school that's in their state. And it just so happens ours is one of the best in the country, if not the best. He also did confirm that Underwood's commitment definitely helped put Michigan back in the top 3, and also, the new offensive coordinator change as well. But that's definitely a comment right there. It's Michigan. It's not Michigan State. It's not Indiana. It's Michigan. That's what Dakota Grant's father had to say. And to wrap up this video, I did want to mention that Michigan has offered the son of former elite NFL wide receiver Larry Fitzgerald, the 2026 3-star wide receiver Devin Fitzgerald. He's a 3-star on 24/7 Sports rankings from the state of Arizona, a 6'2", 200-pound wide receiver. And the reason I'm mentioning him is because he not only did recently just take a visit to Michigan, but Michigan also recently just offered him as well. It appears the Wolverines got some positive buzz going on in Devin Fitzgerald's recruitment right now, who is the son of former elite wide receiver Larry Fitzgerald. So let me know what you guys think about that. But with that, that's going to wrap up this video. Again, shout out to BetUS TV. Go ahead, check them out. And with that, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to go ahead, drop a like, comment down below, and subscribe for more. If you are new around here, I greatly appreciate it. And we will see you guys in the next video. Go Blue.